Welcome to the Liberating River, where spiritual freedom meets soul aligned wealth. I'm Wanda. Something else, did you know? Look, I just like I'm sharing with you, I'm learning myself. Did you know compound interest is often called the eighth wonder of the world? But there is something that compounds even more predictably than financial investments. It's your belief system. You know, I was going here. It's your belief system. A child who grows up hearing, we always find a way, develops a very different risk tolerance than a child who constantly hears, we can't afford anything. Think about that. A child who sees calm financial problem solving uh, develop a different nervous system response than one who watches panic or avoidance. Beliefs compound because they influence thousands of micro decisions across our lifetime, across your lifetime. Someone raised with an abundance mindset, let's just say it this way, they might approach things this way. They might negotiate their salary and they feel a little bit more confident. They can do it confidently. They might invest earlier on at a younger age. They might take calculated career risks. They might switch jobs because they're secure in themselves. They even view setbacks as temporary, not a permanent situation. But someone raised with scarcity mindset and scarcity conditioning, they might avoid financial risk even when it's appropriate. They might stay underpaid to avoid uncertainty. You don't want to rock the boat. They even might delay investing due to fear. And of course, like what I did, they hoard money without strategy. Neither person is necessarily more intelligent. That's the crazy thing about this. It has nothing to do with intelligence. They are often operating from inherited assumptions from two different ends of the spectrum. Psychologists sometimes call these financial schemas internal frameworks that shape how we interpret financial events. Once these have been formed in us, these schemas tend to self reinforce unless, here's the great news, unless you consciously examine and reprogram yourself, basically rewire yourself. That means a single belief like money is hard to keep can influence decades of cautious or avoidant behavior. On the other hand, a belief like I can learn how money works, that creates, it even feels different. It creates an openness to financial growth. That is why I say belief systems often outlast money itself. A family that teaches adaptability, learning, and calm decision making may see financial recovery even after setbacks. A family that teaches fear or scarcity may struggle even with advantages. They miss the signal, they miss the detours that could have gotten them out of their situation. But because they have a scarcity mindset and they're working out of fear, they missed the turn. But as I shared my story, your outcome is not doomed if you happen to have been raised without the inheritance of learning about finance. If you happen not to have inherited the psychological aspect of knowing you're okay, you just have to take an active part in creating detours and recalibrating. your mind. So when people talk about building generational wealth, I believe a deeper question should be asked. And the kind of questions that are asked and should emerge are you investing only in accounts or are you investing in how people think about accounts? Because the second investment often determines the lifespan of the first. Let me say it again. The second investment often determines the lifespan of the first. As I mentioned, those conversations affects the attitudes toward risk and opportunities. Those questions are important. Your approach to leaving generational wealth affects how the attitudes towards risk and opportunities resonate in your family. Every family has an unspoken philosophy about risk. Some treat risk as danger, others treat risk as opportunity. Some avoid it entirely, others approach it strategically. What is fascinating is that these attitudes often transfer without even being formally taught. Children learn risk tolerance by observation long before they understand financial terminology. If parents react to every uncertainty with fear, children often internalize caution. If parents approach decisions with calm evaluation, children often internalize measured confidence. This modeling happens subtly through tone, body language, and of course, everyday reactions. What you teach your family about financial reality is the foundation for a lifetime. Psychologically, they create internal experiences. Depending on how you approach risk tolerance, you might teach instability or you might teach resilience. It shapes your opportunities and your perceptions. Someone raised around fear based financial reactions may see opportunities as risk. Someone raised around problem solving may see risk as manageable. According to research published in the Journal of Behavioral Finance, individuals exposed to financially confident role models early in life showed greater likelihood of participating in long term investing later. I found that intriguing. You know what that suggests? It suggests people do not just inherit money habits, they inherit risk interpretation frameworks. And risk interpretation determines everything from entrepreneurship to investing to having a career. Families that successfully transmit wealth often do something subtle but powerful. They normalize thoughtful risk. They discuss decision openly. They explain why choices are made. They allow younger generations to see the thinking process, not just the outcome. Confidence does not come from always winning. It comes from seeing that uncertainty can be navigated without panic. And that may be one of the most valuable inheritances anyone can receive. Generational wealth is not just what you leave behind, it is what you normalize, it is what you make safe to discuss, it is what you refuse to pass forward. You may not have inherited financial clarity, but you can become the one who introduces it. You may not have inherited emotional safety around money, but you can become the one who models it. And that may be the most valuable transfer of all, because when regulation replaces fear, when stewardship replaces survival, when awareness replaces avoidance, oh my goodness, you change more than your life. You change the psychological starting point for everyone who comes after you. That is wealth, not just accumulation. So the question becomes, what does money feel like around you? Does it feel tense? Does it feel avoided? Does it feel controlled? Or does it feel governed? Because what people experience around you, they often carry forward beyond you. So move deliberately, speak calmly, decide consciously, build what lasts beyond numbers. May your awareness outgrow old fear. May your nervous system learn new safety. May wisdom interrupt inherited scarcity. May stewardship replace reaction. May patience build what urgency never could. May you remember growth is not betrayal, expansion is not danger, and safety can be learned. Until next time, keep flowing in freedom.